They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but some photographs leave us speechless. These images are so baffling and mysterious that they've defied explanation for decades, even centuries. From an enigmatic unidentified figure to an unsettling family portrait frozen in time, these are rare historical photos that scientists can't explain. Babushka Lady. This photo captures the mysterious Babushka Lady, whose identity remains one of the most puzzling unsolved mysteries in history. The story begins on November 22, 1963, in Dallas, Texas, when chaos erupted following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Amid the turmoil, a woman wearing a distinctive headscarf, resembling those worn by elderly Russian women, stood out. Holding what appeared to be a camera, she was seemingly filming the exact moment shots were fired. Despite extensive FBI efforts to locate her or the potential footage, she was never identified and never came forward. What makes her even more enigmatic is her remarkable composure amidst the panic. While others reacted with fear and fled, she calmly continued filming, almost as if she anticipated the tragic events. This unshaken demeanor has fueled numerous conspiracy theories, with some speculating she was a spy, while others believe she was an ordinary citizen unknowingly at the center of history. Decades later, her identity and the mystery of the Babushka Lady remain unsolved, making this photograph a haunting reminder of that fateful day. Like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Black Knight Satellite. This image depicts the so-called Black Knight Satellite, a centerpiece of one of the most enduring conspiracy theories in modern history. The legend traces back to 1899, when inventor Nikola Tesla claimed to have received strange radio signals in his Colorado Springs laboratory. He believed these signals originated from intelligent extraterrestrial beings, possibly on Mars. In 1927, Norwegian inventor Jørgen Hals detected long-delayed radio echoes, signals that echoed back seconds after being transmitted, further adding to the mystery. Years later, in the 1950s, UFO researcher Donald Keyhoe alleged that the U.S. Air Force had detected 2 satellites orbiting Earth before any country had the technology to launch them. The intrigue deepened in 1960 when a U.S. Navy radar detected a dark, tumbling object in polar orbit, an anomaly at the time. Officials dismissed it as space debris from a satellite, but skeptics remained unconvinced. The legend of the Black Knight satellite gained even more traction in 1998 when a peculiar photograph was captured during the STS-88 mission to the International Space Station. The image showed a dark, irregularly shaped object floating in space, which many believed was the elusive satellite. NASA later identified the object as a thermal blanket lost during a spacewalk, but the myth of the Black Knight as an ancient alien observer endures, fueled by decades of speculation and imagination. A mother with 4 children for sale. In August 1948, a heart-wrenching photograph emerged showing a mother, Lucille, and her 4 children beneath a sign reading, "For Children for Sale." This shocking image symbolized the dire poverty that gripped many families during the mid-20th century. Lucille and her husband, Ray, a jobless coal truck driver, faced eviction from their Chicago apartment. Desperate to provide their children with a chance at survival, they made the unthinkable decision to sell them. The photograph ignited a national outcry and brought offers of assistance. However, within 2 years, all of Lucille's children, including the one she was pregnant with, were separated from their parents. The youngest, David, was adopted by a kind couple, Harry and Luella McDaniel, and later served in the military and worked as a truck driver. Sadly, the other children faced harsh fates. Renee and Milton were sold for just $2 to a family who subjected them to cruel conditions, forcing them into labor and erasing their identities. Despite these adversities, each child fought to rebuild their lives. Rayanne, renamed Beverly, grew up to be a loving mother. Milton, though deeply scarred, eventually found peace after a tumultuous youth. This photograph remains a haunting reminder of the lengths some families were forced to go to during times of desperation. A questionable relationship. In 1972, archaeologists unearthed 2 skeletons at the Tepe Hazanlu site in northwest Iran, buried around 800 BCE. Nicknamed the Thazanlu lovers, the skeletons appeared locked in an intimate embrace, seemingly sharing a final kiss. For decades, this discovery symbolized eternal love, but recent studies challenged that notion. Initial assumptions that the pair were a man and a woman have been disproven, revealing both skeletons are male. This revelation has sparked debates about their relationship, with theories ranging from romantic partners to family members. To this day, the true story behind these skeletal remains remains an enigma. Skunk ape. This photo, anonymously sent to the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office in 2000, is known as the Myakka skunk ape or simply the skunk ape. This cryptid allegedly roams the wilderness of Florida, described as a large, bipedal ape-like being with shaggy hair and an overwhelmingly foul odor, akin to a mix of skunk and wet dog. Sightings date back to the early 20th century, with stories ranging from a creature leaping onto a car to disrupting hunter camps in the Everglades. The legend gained traction in the late 1990s and early 2000s when David Shealy, a self-proclaimed expert, dedicated his life to studying this mysterious creature. His 2000 video, allegedly capturing the skunk ape in action, remains controversial as skepticism continues to surround its authenticity. Pant-shaped cryptids. In 2007, a Fresno, California resident captured footage of bizarre creatures resembling walking pants. Dubbed the Fresno nightcrawlers, these cryptids are characterized by long legs and minimal upper bodies, gliding eerily through the night. Their fluid movements and ghostly appearance in light gray or white enhance their otherworldly aura. While subsequent sightings have bolstered their legend, skeptics argue these creatures may be elaborate hoaxes. Regardless, the nightcrawlers have etched their peculiar mark in cryptid lore. Hessdalen lights. The Hessdalen lights, an unexplained luminous phenomenon, have captivated observers in central Norway's Hessdalen Valley for decades. These mysterious orbs, appearing in a variety of colors like white, yellow, red, blue, and green, exhibit unpredictable behavior, hovering, darting, or fading into the night. While countless theories attempt to explain these lights, from natural plasma activity to extraterrestrial origins, their true nature remains elusive, leaving scientists and enthusiasts equally intrigued. A big mountain of bison skulls. This haunting photograph, taken around 1892, depicts a staggering pile of bison skulls outside the Michigan Carbon Works in Rougeville, Michigan. Decades earlier, the American wilderness teemed with an estimated 30 to 60 million bison. However, relentless hunting drastically reduced their numbers, leaving only a few hundred by the late 1800s. This grim image symbolizes the near extinction of these majestic animals. It was this sharp decline that sparked the first conservation efforts in the U.S., initiated by private citizens and later supported by government actions. Thanks to these measures, the bison population has rebounded to about 500,000 today, with around 30,000 living in protected areas like Yellowstone National Park. The Solway Firth Spaceman. This perplexing photo, captured on May 23, 1964, by Jim Templeton during a family outing to Burgh Marsh in Cumbria, England, shows his 5-year-old daughter, Elizabeth, with what appears to be an astronaut standing behind her. Dubbed the Solway Firth Spaceman, the photo garnered international attention, with experts like Kodak confirming it hadn't been altered. While some theorize the figure is an extraterrestrial or a time traveler, others believe it's simply Elizabeth's mother, her overexposed appearance lending a spaceman-like illusion. What do you think, alien or ordinary human? Let us know in the comments. Selling the people what they want. In the 19th century, Napoleon's conquest of Egypt ignited Egyptomania in Europe, with tourists yearning for authentic relics from ancient Egypt. One of the strangest trends of the time was the sale of mummies. Wealthy visitors could purchase mummies from street vendors and host macabre mummy unwrapping parties, where they would unveil the remains in front of captivated audiences. Some even ground mummies into a powder called mumia, believed to have medicinal properties. This unsettling trade persisted until the Egyptian government finally enacted laws to protect its ancient artifacts and halt the export of mummies. Cooper family photo. Known as the falling body photo, this eerie image has baffled many since it surfaced. It shows the Cooper family joyfully posing for a picture, yet in the background, a shadowy figure appears to be falling from the ceiling. The family insists the photo was not altered, leading to theories ranging from ghostly apparitions to photographic mishaps. Skeptics suggest it might be a double exposure, a common phenomenon in early photography. Despite countless debates and investigations, the true explanation behind this haunting image remains an unsolved mystery. Inflatable and decoy tanks. Most people don't know about one of World War II's most intriguing units, the Ghost Army. Officially called the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, this group of around 1,100 men, including artists, designers, and engineers, was established in 1944 to execute ingenious deceptions against enemy forces. They used inflatable tanks, fake radio transmissions, and sound effects to mislead the enemy about Allied troop movements. One of their most notable operations occurred during the lead-up to D-Day. The Ghost Army created a fictitious 1st U.S. Army Group in southeast England, complete with inflatable Sherman tanks, dummy landing crafts, and phony radio traffic. This deception convinced German forces that the invasion would target Pas-de-Calais rather than Normandy, aiding the success of the actual landings. The Ghost Army's efforts significantly impacted the Allies' success in the war, demonstrating the power of creativity and deception in military strategy. Hook Island Sea Monster. In December 1964, a chilling photograph captured what some claim to be the Hook Island Sea Monster, a colossal creature allegedly lurking off the coast of Queensland, Australia. Described as 75 to 80 feet long with a smooth black body, the mysterious figure was photographed by Robert Lucerec and his family. The image quickly garnered attention, yet skepticism persists due to the lack of additional evidence. Whether a hoax or a glimpse of the unknown, the Hook Island Sea Monster continues to intrigue and mystify. Cow shoes used to hide human footprints. During the Prohibition era, 1920 to 1933, in the United States, moonshiners had to outweed authorities to keep their illicit operations hidden. To evade detection, some resorted to wearing cow shoes, wooden devices carved to mimic cow hooves that were strapped to their boots. These ingenious shoes created hoof-like tracks, throwing law enforcement off the trail of hidden stills. This clever ruse exemplifies the resourcefulness of those navigating the challenges of Prohibition. Project Pigeon, the ambitious plan for pigeon-controlled bombs. Amid the innovations of wartime, one of the strangest was Project Pigeon, led by renowned behaviorist B.F. Skinner. He proposed using pigeons to guide missiles, leveraging their sharp vision and cognitive abilities. Skinner designed a special missile nose cone with 3 compartments where pigeons pecked at a screen displaying the target. Their pecks adjusted the missile's course to ensure accuracy. Skinner trained the pigeons using operant conditioning, rewarding them with seeds for correct responses. Despite successful tests and the clever redundancy of using 3 pigeons to reduce errors, military officials dismissed the project as too eccentric. Electronic guidance systems eventually replaced the concept, and Project Pigeon was discontinued in 1944. Still, it remains a fascinating chapter in the history of experimental warfare. Ernest Hemingway's Six-Toed Cats. The iconic American writer Ernest Hemingway wasn't just known for his groundbreaking literary works, but also for his love of cats. This affection began in the 1930s when he received a polydactyl, six-toed, white cat named Snow White from a ship captain. Polydactyl cats, commonly referred to as Hemingway cats, carry a genetic mutation that gives them extra toes, a trait that's both harmless and charming. Today, Hemingway's former Key West residence, now a museum, houses 40 to 50 cats, many of which are direct descendants of Snow White. About half of them carry the polydactyl gene. These cats roam freely around the property, delighting visitors with their unique connection to the literary legend. The museum staff ensures the cats are well cared for, with regular veterinary checkups, vaccinations, and medical attention. Even in death, the cats are honored. A cemetery on the ground serves as their final resting place, with each grave marked by names inspired by famous figures, a tradition Hemingway himself started. A gas-resistant baby stroller. Imagine shopping for a stroller and finding an option that looks more like a protective chamber than a baby carriage. In the 1930s, amidst fears of chemical warfare, parents had to consider these morbid yet practical gas-resistant prams. The horrors of World War I's chemical weapons, like chlorine and mustard gas, lingered in public memory, and with tensions rising before World War II, civilians sought ways to protect themselves and their children. These strollers functioned as miniature mobile gas chambers, complete with a viewing window and a hand pump to filter air. Sealing the baby inside shielded them from toxic fumes while allowing them to breathe safely. Although effective, these strollers were unsettling in appearance, often compared to coffins on wheels. Unsurprisingly, they fell out of fashion quickly but remain a haunting reminder of a time when the fear of chemical attacks shaped even the most mundane aspects of life. That one time people used dynamite on an inflated whale. On November 9, 1970, a 45-foot, 8-ton sperm whale washed ashore near Florence, Oregon. The massive carcass posed significant challenges, from the overwhelming stench to potential health risks. The Oregon State Highway Division, tasked with its removal, sought advice from Navy munitions experts and settled on a peculiar solution, detonating it with dynamite. On November 12, a curious crowd gathered to witness the event from a safe distance of a quarter mile. Assistant District Highway Engineer George Thornton planned to use half a ton of dynamite, assuming the explosion would reduce the whale to manageable fragments for scavengers to clean up. However, the results were far from what anyone expected. When the dynamite was ignited, it launched a towering column of sand, blubber, and debris over 100 feet into the air. Instead of disintegrating into small pieces, massive chunks of whale rained down, one of which crushed a parked car. Spectators, initially awestruck, scrambled for cover as the sky showered with remnants of the whale. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but the chaotic mess that ensued turned this event into one of history's most bizarre and infamous solutions to a unique problem. Now it's time for Prime Topic. In the early 1900s, photography was advancing but still far from today's standards. One photograph captured in 1903 remains a mystery for its astounding level of detail. The image features the Coal Guard Infantry Regiment stationed in Warsaw, measuring just 42 by 96 centimeters, yet somehow capturing the faces of approximately 1,200 men in remarkable clarity. Zooming in on the photo reveals intricate details that seem almost impossible for the technology of the time. The photographer, George R. Lawrence, achieved this feat, but how remains an enigma. Theories abound, but the exact techniques used to capture such a vivid image remain unclear, leaving this photograph as one of history's most fascinating mysteries. The unidentified tank man. On June 5, 1989, Tiananmen Square in China became the backdrop for a moment of extraordinary courage. Initially filled with pro-democracy protesters advocating against government corruption and inflation, the square transformed into a battleground as tensions escalated and the government took drastic measures to suppress the demonstrations. Amidst the chaos, one individual stood out, a man later immortalized as Tank Man. Wearing a white shirt and carrying 2 shopping bags, he became a global symbol of resistance against oppression. As a line of tanks advanced, he confronted them fearlessly. Raising his hand, he signaled the lead tank to halt and even climbed atop it in an attempt to communicate with the crew inside. When the tank tried to maneuver around him, he repeatedly repositioned himself to block its path. This incredible standoff lasted for several minutes until 2 unidentified individuals escorted him away. To this day, Tank Man's identity and fate remain unknown. While some reports suggest he was a student named Wang Weilin, Chinese authorities have never confirmed this, maintaining that they do not know who he is or what became of him. Photographers captured this moment, but Jeff Widener's image became the most iconic, resonating worldwide as a symbol of bravery and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Despite strict censorship within China, the image continues to inspire generations, standing as a powerful reminder of individual courage in the face of oppression. If you have historical mysteries you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to check out more cool stuff appearing on your screen right now. See you in the next video.